back. It is Namm 2025. We are here in California, and I'm hanging out at the Martin booth with my good friend. I can actually say this now. My good friend, Fred Green. I know he's my good friend because one day, after we became Martin dealers, I actually got a phone call from Fred directly, and I'm like, why is this guy calling me? It says Pennsylvania, and I hung up on him. No, just kidding. No, it's not true. That's not true at all. Fred is amazing. He is. You are part of the development team.
Yep.
Working on Martin guitars. He has run us through the booth every year for the past 3 years. And I called him up and I said, or I actually sent him a text. I said, Fred, we're got an appointment. Are you going to be able to do it? It's going to be somebody else. He goes, I'm going to be there.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
First time we're doing it with your Martin dealer.
We are a Martin dealer, Fred. It only took
I love it.
a few years, but we made it happen.
We got it done.
Absolutely. And we are so glad to be that way. If you guys missed it, we did have the live launch last night talking about all the new product.
Right.
We've been selling a whole bunch of it. But today we're going to kind of get a little more in-depth in one-on-one. This is your opportunity to ask questions. Fred's here with us. So we're going to start with something that they didn't talk a ton about last night. But I know you guys are really excited about this one.
We are really excited about it. I mean, it's been years. People have always asked us, how can I get into a really traditional looking Martin product, but at a little more affordable price, more value price. So this year, our new Retro Pluses out of Navajoa. This is solid mahogany, packet sides, torrefied Sitka spruce top. Really, really cool.
Also known, if you're a Martin fanatic, that's the VTS top.
VTS, yes, exactly. Ebony fingerboard, ebony bridge. And of course that style 18 appointment level, water slide decal, just like the stuff out of Nazareth, open gear tuning machines, the whole deal. If you're really looking for something that kind of gives you that 18 vibe, but you're looking for it at a more value price, this is the guitar.
Now, we'll come with a gig bag.
Yep.
It is not a full dovetail. It's going to be the mortise and tenon. Correct.
Absolutely.
Still a great neck joint.
Yep.
It won't be the new, we'll get into the bracing deal, but it'll be more of a standard brace.
More standard
scallop brace.
Scallop brace, right? Road Series style bracing that we currently use.
And I didn't mean to interrupt you and get to tell you all that stuff.
You got it.
I want to hopefully catch the questions before they're asked as that.
You know
but the idea of this guitar is, like you said, there's not a whole lot of like major, like, I can totally tell that from a D18.
No, there's really not. From a distance, it looks like a D18, and that's the point.
And they did a really good job of it. It's going to be impossible for us to give you a tone demo. By the way, we are going to be going into a media room tomorrow, filming tone demos tomorrow afternoon. We will have some of those, as well as the ones that we've already built for the channel out here. But this is going to come in a triple O and a dread.
Yep.
And the price point on this one's going to be?
It's $18.99.
So, okay, so $18.99. That's going to bring it down because I think the satin finish is $24.99.
Right. Yep.
So you are coming in at $600 less.
Exactly.
And so you're going to get a proposition, and it shouldn't be dramatically different than the 18. There's going to be a lot, especially last year's version of the 18, especially with the bracing changes, right?
Correct.
I would see that's closer into that.
You're right, and this is just the beginning. I think you're gonna see more stuff in this line coming next year. So we'll be talking more about that next year, because we'll probably due for a little bit of a Road Series redo next year.
Very cool.
This will be a big part of that. So this is our first venture.
Part of the Road Series, by the way, and we didn't say it does come with a pickup as well.
It does come with pickup and a tuner on the inside.
And a tuner on the inside. So again, this is your player. If you were gigging, and you don't want to worry about your guitar near as much as maybe your 18 or an authentic or a whatever happen to be. It's a good option.
This is a really good option.
Yeah. So brand new. We'll be at the shop. I know I've got a bunch of them on order. In fact, I just found out we do have pre-order links, I think, available right now. So go to the website. You can get pre-order that right now with just a 25% deposit. We'll be seeing those shortly.
Right on.
All right.
So you want to step it up now? We're going to go to the new standards. I know you've done some videos on the new standards already. We're going to go take a look at a couple of them.
Absolutely. Come on.
Let's go.
By the way, always crazy here. Beautiful. I love the Martin booth. Always a bunch of fun. That's a good choice to start with because more questions about this model from the standard.
That's why I grabbed it.
Good job, buddy.
That's why I grabbed it.
That's why he's so smart. In fact, actually, this will be our second side of this because
second most questions.
The second most.
That's why they're here. That's why they're here.
Right.
Okay.
So, by the way, I want to give you a heads up. Not only we're having issues because of sound, but like Fred said, this is so dry in this booth
that
some of these guitars are not holding the way as far as setups as what we would love.
It's like a desert in here.
So big changes come to the standard series. Now, instead of just being a scallop brace guitar,
Correct.
it is now golden era style bracing, and that
Correct.
is different than authentic bracing.
Yes.
It is different than the standard bracing scallops.
Correct. So basically, a golden era brace is just a brace blank that we start with, and it has very specific shaping. And then you can take it down however much you need to take it down. So the authentics are taken down quite a bit. All right, so they were very thin, a lot of handwork. And then we came out with a modern deluxe where we used that same brace blank, and we just didn't take it down quite as much. And that's what we're using on the new standard series. So these are essentially the same kind of braces that you would get in a current modern deluxe look. And we're going to be sending out people where you can kind of see the differences. We'll be sending you some sample pieces, so you'll have
I'm so excited. We are going to be building, I talked to Fred, a video specifically going through the different bracing styles, the different bridge plate styles.
Correct.
Tucked versus
You'll see
not.
it.
We're going to be able to show you exactly what that means, and I think that's a part of it. But this is very interesting because everybody wanted to know. The D28,
Yes.
HC28 was scalloped, the
Correct.
D28 was not.
Correct.
And now that's changed.
That has changed because with the golden era brace, they all scallop no matter what, because that's the way the the blank comes off when we first make it. So there's no really option. If you're going to golden era, it's scalloped, period. You don't really have a choice to be non-scalloped.
Okay.
So that's why we did it on this. So the primary differences between the HD now and the D are, of course, going to be the herringbone, the back strip, the diamonds and square inlay versus dot inlay. Those
So
are going to be
it's
the primary
literally going
differences.
to be
Cosmetics.
aesthetics. Yeah,
Correct.
Cosmetics. Exactly.
That's exactly what it is.
And I think that's actually cool. I know some people are like, well, why would you do that? It's like, this is actually a D28 of a whole era. Not
Correct.
just a whole, couple of decades, but this is a whole era. I grew up with this D28. I love the herringbone of
Sure.
the era before me and the HD28 that came right before me.
Right.
But my first guitar was a 74 D28.
Oh, yeah.
So my dad scalloped the braces on that himself.
Exactly.
You're not supposed to do that, by the way. Don't do that if you're out there, unless you're silly like my dad. But that look was a D28. The back strip of a D28, the zippered back strip, is
Right.
one of those ones that I still have a thing for to this day, where the HC28 has the zigzag.
Zigzag.
strip.
And the zigzag
and that's
strip.
a totally different. So now we get, and there's other changes. There's been a change in the profile of the fretboard,
Yes,
the neck
it's
shape.
an authentic thickness fretboard. We're doing the beveled edge on it now like we do on the aged authentics.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to feel that, and the playability of the instruments is really going to feel good. Of course, the long diamond.
Yes, and that's more authentic like.
That's more authentic. Taking down the edges of the bridge, this is a really subtle one. The CNC machines that we make bridges with today are so precise. The edges get really,
And
really
the
sharp.
edge.
Yeah, it's a really hard. It's like a knife edge. And the old ones, when we were making these bridges, we had these paddle sanders, and they would sort of round off the edges, and they are all really soft. When you see a vintage one, they're all rounded soft right there. So we're bringing that back,
Cool.
rounding that off real soft. And we've actually played with the heel a little bit, made it a little bit more delicate. I felt like they were getting a little blocky, so we tried to return those to a more vintage spec also.
One of my most welcome changes, and I know Fred's, he may not find this as desirable as me, bone and ebony bridge pins.
Go in there.
I have been a pusher of this. It's been one of my fights of like, Martin guitars, quit doing plastic.
Yes.
I know it's historical. I know that, but it's not that big of an expense.
No.
And it really is a pretty good upgrade.
Correct. And then we
So-
did, of course, move that onto the angle of the peg head away from up flat on the board.
So again, for my clarification, I know that's more vintage and that
That's
is
all
more
it is.
spec.
Yep.
Is there any major advantage in playability? It's more the vintage look and
I
style.
think it's more of a vintage look and style. It's the way it was done. You'll have people argue that the string pulls a little better, or it intonates a little better, it's a little smoother, whatever. I'm not going to try to make a claim one way or another there.
I'm with you.
We'll leave that for the debate.
You guys know me. I don't usually fall in that stuff very well at all.
Yeah.
So
I'm not trying to. My point was, let's just get the guitars more vintage. I don't think we ever make a mistake. The more vintage we make guitars, they tend to always, people respond
what's
positively.
old is new again. Always.
Always. And for those people who like the straight brace products, right, it's Martin guitar. Nothing ever goes away. It just rests for a little while. We made the straight braced one for 70, 80 years.
Yeah, since 46?
Yeah, I don't think there's any shortage of them out there. I think you'll be able to find one if you're really looking for it. This is a little different. This is, we're going to try to supercharge the way these sound a little bit. So we want to give people something different.
So now, tell me, D35.
D35.
Because again, now we got confusion. We have scallop bracing. Are they golden era braced?
All right.
How is this one going?
I'm going to give you our feeling and how we went about this discussion.
Please.
All right, 35s or post golden era anyways, right? In the 60s.
Good argument. Good argument.
So never was designed to have golden era bracing. So that's why we left it alone the way it was. And of course, then the HD came out and it was its own design and they decided to put scallop on it. So we just said, you know what? I just don't think it really applies to the 35. We really wanted it on more of the stuff that was sort of pre-war, which is 000 28s and 18s, 45s and 42s, things of that nature, where this, in Martin world, 1960s is modern.
So this has standard brace, even at the X, the way it's connected?
We didn't change any of the bracing on the 35s.
Okay.
It got the other aesthetic changes, fingerboard stuff and all those things. All of that went with the regular standard series.
Gotcha.
But the bracing we just left.
Okay, very cool. So again, still keeps the three-piece back.
Correct.
Everything's D35.
Right.
Explain to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, there still was a difference in the bracing of a D35 from a standard 28, correct?
Correct. 1/4-inch bracing versus 5/8 inch bracing.
Okay, because that's the way I remembered it, but
Didn't change it.
I was ready for you to make me out to be a fool and go,
No,
no,
sir,
John,
never would I do
no,
that."
John, you are wrong. You're an idiot.
You're always right, John. I say that because I'm on your channel. You're always right.
Okay, whatever. You can call me out. I appreciate it.
No.
So D35 has some changes, nowhere near as dramatic as most of the rest of the standard
Correct.
series.
In terms of looks and feel, it has all the changes of the standard. In terms of sound, they sound the same.
Good. All right, awesome. So
Right
that
on.
covers most of the standard series. Jay,
We had the OM45.
Yes, we did. The OM45, we do have that coming in. Awesome to see that back. I'm super stoked to see an OM45 back because I'm an OM guy. I know the triple O, body shape, all that's the same,
Correct.
but the scaling is different, makes a different sound.
Right.
It is different than what it would normally be. We do have one in stock. It just landed. OM45s, super cool. That's been the first time back since what,
Over 30 years.
Over 30 years?
Yeah.
I haven't seen an OM45 since that would be the 90s?
And then we added a
That's
17
weird.
series.
Yes, the 17 series I am really impressed with.
That is a really cool guitar because it looks like a 15, right?
Yep.
But it has the full-on golden era bracing and the compound dovetail neck joint and all that.
And for you, those of you, I've already heard the comments, it's like, well, it's just another 15. It is not a 15. I played it. It sounds different. It
does.
sounds bigger, fuller. I just got the Dreadnought in. I'm personally not usually a big mahogany top person,
It's got its own sound.
but I played that 17 and I was like, I could play this
Really?
guitar and really find this to have growl. It had that warmth of mahogany tops, but there was still a growl there, which I thought was really impressive. So good job. This is the most controversial guitar of Martin's new one, and I actually think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, this is our double neck Grand J 28 double neck, and yes, I know it seems ridiculous. So, but there's a story. There's a good story here. For those of you who don't know, a couple years ago, John Mayer did a solo tour where he played the double neck, and he called us, and he said, "Hey, do you have a double neck?" And I said, "I'm not sure." I said, "I think we did one back in 2011, like a one-off for the show." It was a one-off for the show. I said, "I have no idea what kind of shape it's in. Let me check." Went down, we found it. It was still in really good shape. He said, "Can I borrow it for my tour?" And I said, "Sure, I guess."
Maybe.
He said, "I'll need it for like 3 months." I said, "All right, cool." Of course, the tour ends up going a year and a half. But everybody sees him play this double neck on stage, and then the requests start flying in, and mostly from artists. Strangely enough, they saw John Mayer, now everybody wants one. And I said, "I'm not building a double neck." I said, "I will not." This is crazy.
This is always the famous words. I'm not going to do something.
The production people will kill me. They want no part of this. I mean, it's 18 bridge pins and 18 tuning machines. It's nuts. But the demand was so high. I'm like, all right, we had to finally acquiesce and do it. And
do you know how many bone bridge pins are being used here?
Yes, it's a whole cow. It's. I tell you how crazy it was. We forgot how we built it.
Really?
I sent my guys out to John Mayer's tour to look at the guitar we loaned him so we could remember how we built this. It has 3 neck blocks in it.
I love it.
It's a monster, but actually,
and one of the, by the way, little details I love, the butt wedge in between. I saw this last night for the first time, and I just think that's so cool.
It's really cool. It's really way more balanced and easy to use than you think it is. Obviously, it's a big guitar. We're the only
How heavy?
ones-
I didn't get to hold it yesterday. It's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
I played some like straight dreads that weren't
Way
much
less than
lighter
a Les
that.
Paul.
Yeah, way less. Way less.
So yeah, we're the only ones dumb enough to try to make something like this. To be honest with you,
I love how somebody at Martin right now just said, "Fred, you're not allowed to say we're dumb."
Yeah, exactly. It has a custom Fishman pickup in it.
I was going to ask you. So I just saw the switch. Is that to shut off one or the other?
Correct. So you don't get any sympathetics coming back and forth.
Or feedback?
Or feedback or any of that.
Right.
So you're on one or you're on the other. It plays really well. It's a really, really cool guitar. It comes
Controls are right here.
Yep.
And like I said, switch right here. Interesting on that.
Really nice. Get in
It
there.
is using a standard bridge but redone to fit them together, right?
To fit them together. It has a gigantic case that comes with it, a big square case, like a giant coffin.
It's by the way, it's disappointment time. It is not a double-necked shaped case.
No.
It is a big giant. I saw it last night. It's like a big plastic SKB style box. Yeah, disappointment time.
Like I said, I was joking with you. It looks like you're carrying a Fender Rhodes piano with you.
And who doesn't want to do that?
And who doesn't want to carry one of those around?
I think everybody wants to know, does it J-run?
Does it J-run? We got to find out.
J-run.
We have to find out.
Oh,
you know what a J-run is.
Yeah. Good luck.
Oh, we're doing this.
Said it's a little beat.
Yeah, I can do it. We can do this one.
I'm not vouching for whether or not it's in tune.
No, you shouldn't even J-run on that. It can, but you shouldn't.
We're not suggesting it.
I love it. Doesn't J-run. You guys are my favorite people in the whole world, all of you.
Well done.
All right, where are we moving to now?
Billy Strings?
Let's do it.
I'm going to have to steal it from somebody. Let's go get it.
There's 2 of them. We have already, by the way, you want me to wait here?
Yeah, let me grab them.
Okay, that sounds good. Billy Strings came out. How you doing?
Yes.
And awesome guitars that came out last night.
Good?
We already sold through all
no
of ours.
problem.
We're taking
Hey,
pre-orders
I'll
on
be
more,
back.
and we've already taken a whole bunch of pre-orders.
Sorry.
I have a ton of them on their way, so make sure to check those out.
Sorry.
Because they're great. The X2, we did a demo. We have full-on ones of it. But Billy is cool. I've seen him do this before, and that he does like to see young players get a chance to play.
Absolutely.
So when he came out with the Billy Strings model, he said he was going to do 2 different ones. one that was going to be his player one that'll like his actual guitar,
Correct.
and one that was affordable for people. So they came out with an X Series one,
Exactly.
which is what we had first. Very, very cool Brazilian rosewood print back.
Correct.
All the features of the X Series. Any other major changes to the X Series on this model?
Yes, it's going to get the same unusual scale length and string spacing.
So this one is the 24/9?
25. So it's 25-inch straight scale length, which is really different, something we normally don't do. And then it's right in between on the string spacing. It's in between 111 and 1¾ So it's technically
23/30 seconds.
123 30 correct. You called it. You got it. Yeah.
I've seen that spec before.
You saw that spec before. Yes, I bet you have.
So that went into this one as well.
Correct.
Now, one of the cool things that I thought it was cool when we ordered it in the first place, but the new gig bag that comes with this is super cool. It's
Yep.
a hemp gig bag.
Yep.
It's got really cool graphics on it as well. A special edition label.
Correct.
It's going to be inside these. And this one has that same Road Series pickup in it.
Yep.
Factory.
Exactly.
So,
Got the E1.
so that's on the X Series. Then you went ahead and did the full Billy Strings model based off of his 42.
No, 1940 D28.
Is it 40? See, I knew me and Billy were. I have a 4018.
There you go.
So mine's 4018. He's got the 28. So again, talk to me on this one. What bracing pattern did you end up using for this? Do you know?
Trying to
remember. I'm looking at it and feel it. That is definitely square stop.
Oh yeah, definitely golden arrow.
Okay, golden arrow braced. On there.
Forward.
It is forward shifted.
Yep.
It's just, So there you go.
So many guitars.
Yes, I hear you, Fred. I hear you, buddy. So built after his D28. Here's one of the features that
Cool
I
tuners.
love.
Old school.
Old school tuners. So it is not quite exactly a reproduction of his,
No.
because they would have had the rounded buttons.
Right.
But
What's
there was
available
something-
today?
Yeah, it's cool though. I
Yeah,
love
was it like a Grover or Kluson style?
It's a Kluson style button. I can't remember. It's a Grover button.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
you have. So
Yeah.
I love the plate. Very, very cool. And this one comes in, I think, at $39.99. Do you remember?
I think that's correct.
I think that's correct. So again, D28 style, herringbone, Billy strings, special edition label. Very cool guitar in here. Short scale, 23-30 seconds.
Yeah, really, really unusual. They were describing to me, hey, he wants to do this really strange string spacing. I went, wow. I said, that is minute. That's not.
It does J-Run better. It does. Watch, Billy's going to start doing the J-Run.
Oh,
it's totally going to happen.
J-Run. I love it. Come on over. We'll go.
All right, we're going to move onward. This is a beautiful guitar that just came out this year as well.
Correct.
This is a hard one for me because I like blue guitars. Blue guitars are one of those deals that you either love them, and you as a guitar designer have to sit there and go, blue? Really?
Listen, so our CEO, Thomas Ripsum, really wanted to make a guitar. He says, I really want to do something with some color on it. I just took one of my design guys and I said, go see Thomas and give him what he wants. He's the man, so let him do what he wants. So this is what they came up with. Thomas is a big fan of the 4/0, the M. Really, really enjoys that. He's from Germany. So we wanted to make some concessions to that and sort of put something in there. So we chose the German white oak for the back, 35 style. And the
Very
sides.
cool.
Really, really
I love
cool.
the rope style
Yeah.
binding in there.
Really nice, really different. It's actually a maple neck.
I was going to ask you, maple?
It's a maple neck we've sort of tinted it a nice brown so it matches the sides. It's maple binding. And then a lot of really cool inlay work.
And it's not a heavy, like, painted blue. This is a very stained into a fade blue.
Correct.
And it's one of those ones, every time when you try to photograph a sunburst or any kind of color fade, it's really impossible to
Really
get.
difficult.
It never looks the same. This looks absolutely gorgeous. I have to say it really does. It's kind of like the John Mayer model.
So hard to photograph.
Everybody goes, that looks like Battleship Gray. That's that's not, but
you
it's
see it in
not.
person.
If you see it in person, much nicer than
And I had that conversation with John Mayer.
Yeah.
He's like, this is the most difficult guitar to photograph. I said, it's a weird color. I don't know why it does it. It is.
This looks absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah,
So,
it's a really pretty
again,
guitar.
another guitar that we are going to have very shortly. It's been on order for a couple months now, so we will have those
Correct.
on their way. So
This is a guitar that Chris did.
I've had this on order since the day Chris did the video. I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever, and I've
really
got customers waiting. It's called the HG28, or is it Oahu? Is that how you're going to say it?
Oahu, and it's
Okay.
for Hawaiian guitars. It says HG for Hawaiian guitar.
Got you. It's like a smaller, more comfortable dreadnought
Correct.
guitar. Is it really designed to be in alternate tunings, or do you think
Not
that
really.
it does well as not?
Chris had bought an old Gibson that had like 4 F-holes in it. Some weird guitar that was a failure for them way back in the 20s or 30s, whatever. And he just really liked the shape. And this was sort of the shape of that old Gibson. And so we just said, well, what if we just take that shape and kind of make it, Martinize it, basically. And this is what he and Tim Teal came up with, kind of their tribute to Hawaiian instruments of that time. That's what Gibson was trying to do at the time. Yeah, it's a really, really cool
I
piece.
call this a cruiser dreadnought. It's like a cruiser style, you
Yeah,
know? It's
yeah.
comfortable.
It's super comfy.
It is easy to play, and yet gives you that dreadnought feel. Not quite as big, but comfortable.
You know, people struggle with sometimes with big guitars, their arms start to hurt. And this is perfect for that.
Now, you're marketed as a spruce top, but I'm looking this. Do you feel like this might be an Addy top put in there?
No. It has that look to it, doesn't it?
It sure does look like it to me.
It sure does look
I'm
like
going to claim this guitar. We'll take it home. Even though it's going to get beat up, we'll buff it out.
It's a really nice top.
I like how Fred looks at me. Nah. Well,
As soon as I saw the green light on the end, I was like, it looked like Addy.
That's what I said.
I don't want to say the wrong thing. Somebody's going to call me on it. Well, it's spruce.
It's spruce. That's how we do this. We call it spruce. Could be, could not be. I don't know.
You'll like it.
You're gonna
Play it. Come out to the shop and play it.
You should. We will have those coming in. Absolutely. So
I think those are all the new.
awesome.
Oh.
You know, we gotta take a look at that.
We've got one extra. I keep forgetting about this.
How do you forget about this, by the way?
Excuse me, guys.
Just 1 second.
Sorry. Excuse us 1 second.
All right, so Martin is celebrating a very special honor right now.
Yep.
And it's crazy because it wasn't long ago that you guys were like 2 million
Right.
guitars.
Coming
like,
fast.
What was that, like 2 or 3 years ago?
It was a little more than that, maybe.
Okay, I don't
maybe
remember.
five. Maybe five, yeah.
Okay.
Pre-COVID, yeah.
So this is the 3 millionth guitar Martin has made. Now
Correct.
again, unlike some other guitar companies, they actually know this because they sequentially ordered and
We do it the
serialized.
easy way.
Yeah, it was so much better. Thank you guys for doing that, by the way. Every guitar collector in the world, thanks you for sequentially serializing your guitars. Made it so much easier for all of us. All right, so tell us how this guitar was built, because the design idea is like rings of a tree.
Correct.
Every year you add a ring,
Correct.
and that's kind of where
And
this
this
is
one
going,
has
right?
193 rings because we're 193 years old. And under each ring, you'll see a diamond starting in the center. And each diamond and each corresponding year represents some special event in Martin, from the beginning all the way to when they moved from New York and what year that was. And they all correspond with the exact ring. And the rings, of course, are inlaid in different kinds of wood and lined with gold. So you'll see the gold rings in there. And of course, cool fingerboard, and you'll see gold inlaid leaves on the sides of the instrument that actually have the fingerprints of employees
Really?
and the gold leaves.
Wow, cool
So
detail.
to commemorate, it's CF Martin and Company. So
love
there's
that.
a lot of people who make this work. You can see the diamonds inlaid in the peg head at the top. And of course, we're located on Sycamore Street. So if you come around the back, you can see a sycamore tree.
A sycamore tree, awesome. So now, I know some people have been giving Martin grief about this guitar because it is so ornate and
Yes,
so crazy. But
is.
realize, this was designed to be a showpiece guitar.
Correct.
This is not designed to be a player's
No,
guitar.
no. It's a
And-
design exercise. It's a collectible showpiece.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's exactly what it
so
is.
lay off, everybody. It's
Yeah.
not supposed to be.
Yeah, unless you want to take out this. I mean, you can get one. There's one available.
Is there?
Yeah.
One?
1.5 million.
I'll take 2.
So, yeah.
I'm going to use. So you said employees' fingerprints on here. What is Martin employing right now in Nazareth? Do you know roughly the number of employees?
I think we're right around 490, 500 people, somewhere in that
awesome.
neighborhood.
That is very, very cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Plus, you have your Nazareth Factory 2, which has almost, not quite near as many
Yeah.
people, but a lot of people. So Martin is actually employing quite a few
Yeah,
people, and it is like Pennsylvania folks too. It's not just guitar people.
Yeah, and like multi-generational, where their grandfather worked there, or their grandfather's grandfather worked there. So one of the few companies in the United States who still does it that way. I mean, we're just down the street from the original factory. I
That's
mean,
very,
it's-
very cool.
Yeah, in fact, one of the diamond marks on here is when we moved from the North Street factory into the current factory on Sycamore Street.
We are going to make that trip one of these days. And
Man,
talk.
why-
I'm
Come
ready
on.
for it. I know. We're going to do it. We're
All
going to do
right.
it.
All right.
All right. Jay, do we have any questions before we hop out of here? No. Does it J run? They wouldn't let me. I had a bet last night.
Let's assume it does.
They were asking me last night when we did the live. They said 200. They started bidding. They got up to $450 if I would run up there and see if that would J run.
Well, maybe we
I
could
don't
do it
know.
on the 300 version.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it on 3. Will you let me?
Come on.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna see if it'll J run.
I can't guarantee it's a tune.
Can't guarantee too.
I can't
love that.
guarantee it. So this is the D300. So this is the one without all the diamonds. And this one you can purchase. It's $300,000. We'll make 30 of them.
If you're ready to order, we'll put in our order tonight. By the way, some details up here. Almost all the same details, not quite
Right.
as much ornate stuff, right?
The diamonds and not as much diamonds and gold.
All right, guys, let's see if we can
Gonna
get
give
it
it a shot?
in tune. I'm gonna give it a shot. Sorry, guys. It'll G-Run. It'll do it, guys. G-Run. J-Run every single time. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you, Fred.
My pleasure. Always fun to have you, my man.
I can't believe you played along with that.
Come on, why not?
I love it.
We only do this once a year.
We only do it once a year. We're going to be in so much trouble. Somebody's got, Chris is probably going to call us soon.
Yeah, I might not be here next year. You may have a new host.
I love it. All right, guys, we will be back. We're going to go to the media room tomorrow. We're going to be filming some stuff with a quieter space to be able to get you some more demos. If you got stuff you want to hear, put it in the comments. Again, check out the website right now. We have a bunch of this stuff already on pre-orders, and there's some of it in stock right now. I know I've got more HG28s on the way if they haven't landed already, more 18s, all the major stuff for the new standard series, and there's an OM45 here in stock. More Billy strings. Yeah, thank you all for joining me. Fred, thank you so much for doing this again, taking the time.
Pleasure.
And yeah, check out the sound samples, and we'll see you on the next video. Hit like and subscribe. Do it now.